What's going on YouTube, and welcome to another Rainey Retro Top 10. Today we'll be doing the top 10 retro racers that you should play for your Steam Deck. Let's go ahead and get started. Number 10, Simpsons Hit and Run. So I actually went back and forth on whether or not to add this on the list, mainly because I didn't know whether to consider this a racing game or not. But after playing through it for a second, then thinking on it, I'm like, yeah, we're going to go ahead and add it. Simpsons Hit and Run is basically Grand Theft Auto, but with Simpsons characters. You're able to drive around, you're able to race, you're able to do like individual missions, you're able to change clothes, you're able to change characters, you're able to change cars. Like, it's so much that you can do in this game. It's just super jam-packed. This game originally came out for Xbox, PS2, and GameCube, and I'm currently playing the GameCube version mainly because of the file sizes. It's a little smaller, and I'm trying to save space, especially on my 64 gig Steam Deck. Okay, number 9, Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. Just go ahead and get into it. Some of the things that I do like about this game is, one, just a sense of feel, right? Being able to go like up to 400 miles an hour, and you really just kind of feel that while you're racing. Another thing I like is the vehicle selection and character selection. If you're not a big Star Wars fan, you'll still enjoy this game. Like, I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan, but I do recognize a couple of the characters from this particular series. Another feature I like about this game is that you really do have like little customization options. So you have this junkyard. Where you can go in there if you have a few little coins after you win in races and everything. Oh, I almost forgot, you can bet on this game. Like, where you can change the skill level. So you can change it as far as first, second, and third to get a certain amount. Yeah, so first, second, and third get surprised, or you can up it to where only first just get surprised and you get more money from there. But it's definitely a cool feature. But like I was saying, like when you collect money, you can either go to the junkyard and buy parts for your vehicle, or you can buy brand new parts. And I just thought that was a pretty cool little feature and aspect to it. This is the Dreamcast version. The only thing I don't like about playing this game on the Steam Deck is the fact that it just doesn't fill up the entire screen. I'm pretty sure it's some kind of setting that I can go in there and do it, but this is just something I wish just naturally happened, just straight out of the box. Well, straight out of the emulator. But anyway, definitely a good racer. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna probably give this one like a 7 as far as like fun and replayability. All right, number 8, we're Burnout Legends. I'm a huge fan of the Burnout series, and this is actually the PSP version. So, spoiler alert, this is not going to be the only Burnout on this list. But getting straight into it, one of my favorite features about this game is just that overall sense of feel, right? And then playing this on a Steam Deck for the PS. Actually, yeah. So playing any PSP game on a Steam Deck is chef's kiss, because you're just able to quickly and easily upscale everything. Might probably leave a little shortcut down here so you guys can know how to do it, but being able to play like some of those old PSP titles, which were actually legit, and then upscaling it, they all look like high quality, console type games, and playing this in HD is crazy to me. And then like, I love the fact that it fills up the entire screen, right? Like, it looks like it was literally built and meant for the Steam Deck, and I love that. But as a fan of the Burnout series, like, I love the fact that the more wild that you drive, the more like they actually encourage it, and they're giving you boost, and they're giving you more cars and unlocking more stages and tracks. It's one of those arcade type races where you just really do not want to put down, and you're able to just really progress through the game and have a good time. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna have to give this one like a 9 as far as like fun and replayability, because just about every system I get this game for, as far as like handheld, I'm putting it on. I am putting it on, and I love that it runs. It's not a hard game to run or emulate. So definitely add Burnout Takedown to your list. All right, so number 7, Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing. I'm not too sure about how many of these versions that they made, but there are a lot, and I have played a lot of them. One of my favorite versions is actually the DS version, but I didn't want to put DS games on the Steam Deck, because I felt like I have other devices that can do that really, really easy. Like, why waste space? But I added this version. This is actually the Wii version, and one of my favorite features about this game is the fact that while you're racing, you have a commentator, and he just makes it more exciting. He's letting you know who's in first. He's letting you know what's going on. Like if you are in first, he's letting you know what's going on behind you. He's letting you know who got, the superstar power up. He letting you know who got shot. He letting you know like you about to get shot. So I think it's really dope. Another favorite feature of mine about this game is just the character selection. It's just something different from the usual Mario that I'm used to seeing and playing all the time. But I love that they give you more control over the character selection and on the game as well. So you're collecting money while you're racing, and you can actually go spend it. Unlike Mario Kart, you collecting coins just to go faster. But on here, you're collecting money and you can go spend it. You can go buy new tracks. You can go buy new characters. You can even buy new background music while you race. And I really love that feature. And I really love that aspect. So it's definitely on my list. Another thing that I like about playing Wii games in general on the Steam Deck is just the file size, right? I think the biggest, on average, like they're all between like 300 and 500 megabytes, right? So, and I think like the big ones really go up to like 2 gig, unlike PlayStation 2 where you're starting at like dang near 1 gig, 2 gig. So I just felt like Wii games are just great to save on space, and if you're looking for a great racer, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna give this one like an 8.5 out of just fun and replayability. All right, number 6, getting into it. This is a classic. This is a personal favorite. Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition. When I say personal favorite, like this is one of those games where I grew up with this, right? Like this is one of those games where I have vivid memories of like playing this with my little sister, and like she playing it to the point to where she unlocking Tokyo. I think we had the Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition remix, and like she went in on that game. But one of my favorite features about this game is just the customization. Like, one, you're getting cool licensed cars. 2, you're getting, not only do you get those cool licensed cars, but you're able to modify them and upgrade them in ways that a lot of games at the time, they had like little customization features, but this one took it next level. The third thing, which I absolutely love, is the soundtrack on this game, on both versions actually. So on Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition, you had a fire soundtrack, but then on the remix, you had even more tracks. So all of that alone just pretty much made this like the perfect racer. Like for real. I also love the fact that the PSP version and the PS2 version is literally exactly the same. So I love that when they were porting games back then, they really ported the games, and that's just really important. It's just something they don't do anymore. And I really hope that the community kind of catches on to this handheld market, because we're really enjoying playing these games. But the only thing I didn't like about, actually, I'm trying to think. I don't think there's anything I don't like about this game. It's easy to progress. It's easy to get money. It's easy to win. I'm not gonna say it's easy to win races, but it's challenging. And I love a challenging racer. Like it has just enough amount of stress in it to make you want to continue to play, but also it's not too easy. Like you'll understand the more you play it. Like, and if you have played it, you know exactly what I mean by that. But great game, man. Like scale of 1 to 10, I might have to go ahead and get this one like a 10. And I'm saying that on a number 6. Like, wow. But yeah, go ahead and pick that up, add it to your any version, really. Like, it don't matter. Like, well, actually, I take that back. Any Midnight Club 3 version. So get Dub Edition or get Dub Edition Remix. I didn't really like LA Remix because I think the graphics was kind of off, and then the original Midnight Club just doesn't even touch this. So yeah, definitely add that to your system, and let's get into it. Well, let's get back to it. Number 5, Mario Kart Wii. Another Wii title, but it's Mario Kart, right? So you can't really have a top 10 list without a Mario Kart. And if I'm gonna be honest with you, this isn't even my favorite version of Mario Kart, but I added this one on here because it's similar in just about every way. It's just missing one aspect. I'm gonna give you guys a second to think, try to figure out what version that is and why I mean that. Okay, if you don't know by now, I mean Double Dash. Mario Kart Double Dash is my favorite Mario Kart, but the only reason it's not on this list is because I cannot get it to run fully like I want it to. So I know I probably spoke on this on another video, but I couldn't get past like the 9th track. It just kept freezing. I don't know if it was like a bad ROM or what, but it was irritating, and I didn't want to waste space on my Steam Deck, so I just went ahead and deleted it. But Mario Kart Wii is just as good. The only aspect is you just don't get 2 characters in your car, but they kind of make up for that by giving you multiple cars and giving you the option to ride motorcycles as well. So I give them that. Graphically, this looks amazing. Widescreen, you know what I'm saying? Like, you see it fills up the entire Steam Deck. Another plus, like, you can't go wrong. And then they also give you some of the double dash tracks, as well as some of the well, really, they give you all of the tracks from just about every other previous Mario Kart, which I love. And they put like a HD spin or a new rendition on it. So I absolutely love what they did with Mario Kart. I love the series, and it's probably, like, as far as like replayability, I'm gonna give this like a 9. It's not a 10 for me just because I grew up with it, but you just need that multiplayer with Mario Kart to really enjoy and experience it. And I don't know how to do it yet, but if they can make a way to where we can all connect with Steam Decks and continue to play, like, I know Nintendo would never go for it, so we would probably have to make our own little community or something. But if we could do that and we all playing online, that's when it would be like a 10 for 10 for me. But until then, it's like a 9. All right, number 4, the greatest Burnout of all time. Burnout 3 Takedown. If you haven't played this game, I'm telling you, this is the best. Like, if you played PlayStation 2 or have a PlayStation 2 or want to play some PlayStation 2 and you want to play a great racer, the best one is Burnout 3 Takedown, because you get a mix of like pretty much everything, right? Like, you get the arcade feel, you get some cool cars. You don't get your licensed cars. That's the only negative about this game. None of the cars are licensed, but they give you so many different cars and options, and you get to paint it a little bit. Like, it's cool. Like, I'm not saying it's like the most intense customization. Like, no, it's literally just that car, all the stickers or whatever on it, and then you getting white, black, red, or blue. But other than that, like, you get some pretty cool cars, man, and like, just like classic Burnout fashion, you still get the boost. You get boost, you get like a fast-paced racer, and then like on this version here, you get that crash mode, and that's like a super bonus because it just adds like another element to just getting rewarded for just driving reckless. So what I like about the crash mode is it just, the more damage you cause, the more money you get. And then of course they're unlocking more cars, and you're unlocking more tracks, and you're unlocking more pretty much just cars and tracks. So I like this because it's really good for pick up and play. Like, if you only have like 10 minutes and you just want to boom, 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 I would definitely say pick this up, because and within that 10 minutes, you're probably going to knock out 1 or 2 different courses or levels, I should say. Unless it's like an elimination. If it's an elimination, like, that whole 10 minutes going towards that one race. And I hope you win, because, man, that's going to take up a lot of time. That's the only real negative about this game. I think I saw somebody on YouTube say that they didn't like this feature about the game too, and I never really noticed it until I started playing it. I'm like, dang, this do take up a lot of time, and if you lose, you really do have to start the entire thing over. So that's really the only negative about this game. But other than that, man, playing this is chef's kiss again. Pretty sure there's some kind of feature to where I can fill this up all the way, but it is upscale too. Another one of those games where if you just hold a little start button and then up at the same time, it'll upscale it. And I'm currently playing this at 4x resolution. So yes, sir. Y'all should definitely add that to your list. It is a top game for sure. All right, moving on. MotorStorm Arctic Edge. This is also one of those. It's a tough game for real. This is the version for the PSP. There are a lot of PSP titles on this list because the PSP was my favorite system for real. And playing a PSP title on the Steam Deck and then upscaling it is chef's kiss. So one of my favorite features about this game is, one, you get some crazy car selections, right? So When I say crazy car selection, you still get like your regular cars, but you get four-wheelers, you get dirt, you get dirt bikes. I guess that's still kind of like classic, but then you get dump trucks, you get snowmobiles, you get like the like for real, you can really pick like a dump truck and then y'all hauling with it. So it's crazy car selection. And then like you also get like a pretty smooth like customization feature too. Like you can add like decals, liveries. I hope I'm saying that right. Liveries. You can change the colors, you can add decals, like, and you can make some custom stuff too. Like this it's actually pretty in depth for what it is. I guess the only negative about this game is you don't have the licensing. So I mean, yeah, so you know you're not getting any popular cars. They're just kind of generic and basic, but they cooked up for sure. And each car kind of gives its own element, right? Like how you would drive your four-wheeler is not how you would drive like the snowmobile or the dump truck. So you kind of have to think about handling while you're driving, but at the same time you get a boost that you can pretty much use throughout the entire race. But if you use it too much, your car is pretty much gonna blow up, so you kind of got to time it. And it's just another cool feature and another cool aspect to this game. But this game is really on this list because this is the first system that I'm able to run outside of my laptop to where it can actually run this game properly and smoothly. The Retroid Pocket 3 was my favorite handheld for a while, but the one thing it lacked was power on certain games. And this game, it would run on the system, but it had graphical glitches. It looked pretty like you dang near had to downsize it to get it to run, I guess at the proper frame rate, but it just looked ugly. And then like when I did kind of tinker and play around with settings, I was getting like a super dark shadow up under there, and to me it just kind of ruined the game. So to be able to play this now upscale, full screen, and it's still giving like that mobile PSP feel, I'm with it, man. So this is definitely one of those classic racers that if you have not picked up, put it on your system. And really you can get any version, they all slide. Number 2, Auto Modelista. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm pretty sure somebody is going to correct me later on it. So when I'm doing a lot of builds, I watch a lot of ETA Prime because I want to see a lot of the specs and everything before I purchase. And he has one particular game that he likes to play was Auto Modelista, and one of the things that caught my attention was the shading, right? The cell shading. That's one of my favorite, I guess, like graphical things in a video game, right? Like that cell shading. So perfect examples of that was Beautiful Joe and some of the other GameCube and Capcom type fighters. Like I love cell shading. But yeah, I think now that I think about it, I think it is only Capcom that really does that. But that overall look, I was like, oh, I gotta get this game. And then I saw it, I'm like, well, and then 2, it's a racer. So immediately right there, you got my attention. Third thing, it looked like an arcade racer. So like while you turning corners, like the wind is shifting and it looks like you're going fast. Another thing that I love is the fact, well, you get a lot of different camera angles. Like I love camera angles in a racing game. If I can go through, like if I can, you know what I'm saying? The more camera angles, the better, because it's just giving you that different driving perspective. Another super bonus feature that I like is the licensed cars. So not only are you getting the licensed cars, but you're able to really go in there and fine tune each car or each part before the race, including your garage. Like the customization features on this game is just kind of wild, right? I'm like, dang. So they just combine all of that together, and I'm playing through it. I'm really enjoying myself, and I'm really like, I'm really engaged and kind of locked in. The only negative about this game was just that it did not automatically save once I started like my career mode, like the garage life mode. That's the only negative. You have to remember to save this game, because I made it pretty far, and like in my head I'm just assuming that there was an auto save feature like every other game on this freaking system, right? Like I thought it was like an auto save feature, and it was not. So when I turned the game off and I came back on and I wanted to start my garage life mode with my 240XX, which I had super souped up, right? Like I had put time into it, I had put the color into it, you know what I'm saying? Oh, again, the customization is crazy. Like you can paint the hood, like every part that you can pretty much paint individually. So like you can cook up your car for real, and take it through the different stages. Like you see how excited I'm getting talking about this game? Like, yeah, it's for sure number 2 on this list. replay that. Like, I gotta give it like a 9.5 for that simple fact that, bro, like, why am I having to auto save this freaking game, right? Like, it's called Auto Modalista. Like, why you not automatically save it? But anyway, yeah, definitely put that on your list. And my number one game that you should play for the Steam Deck, number one racing game that you should put on your Steam Deck, has to be Need for Speed Underground. This is number one on the list for multiple reasons. One, this is one of those games I grew up with, right? Like, this was the game that really got me into cars. This is the game that really put me on to like the whole drifting in Tokyo, Fast and Furious, and the whole, you know what I'm saying? Like, this was that game. In addition, the graphics go absolutely insane. Mind you, I had an Xbox growing up, so I didn't even know that Xbox was really like a super computer. Like me, I'm just thinking it's just like a gaming system. So I'm growing up with super high end graphics, and I'm like, yo, playing this game on a supercomputer, insane. Like, look at it. You can just see how intense I am in the game, because like I'm leaning up, like I wasn't even paying attention to the fact that I was recording anymore. Like, this game is an absolute classic. It looked good. When you turn it on, you get greeted by Lil Jon and the East Side Boys. It put you in that mood. It put you in the car. The customization is what really make this game, but like the driving mechanics is fire too. Like, this is one of the greatest racing games ever. I saw somebody do a poll that said, they was comparing what game would you want to remake, and people were actually voting for the second version of this game, which I haven't even played yet, but I actually want to play through this one first, because this was a game that I really played growing up, and I made it super far, but I never ended up beating it. And I want to really sit down and beat this game first before I go to the second one. And I saw a little gameplay of the second one, and I'm like, it don't look like it's hitting like this one, but we shall see later on. But this is definitely my number one for. There's nothing wrong with this game, and it's challenging too, right? Like, some games some races you really will lose, and you gonna have to really switch up your racing style, or really go in there and tweak some things and come back out there. Like, some races you really do have to race a perfect race, but it's just enough to make you want to continue to go. Like, it's not one of those games to where you start losing and you're like, all right, I'm done with this, or I don't even want to play back. Like, it's one of them ones where you're going to want to pick up over and over and over and over again, at least for me. So, because I'm going to continue to play this until I beat it, and then maybe on round 2 we'll compare it to some other Need for Speeds. But this is the GameCube version. GameCube games look amazing on this system, and it's also smaller. It's also a smaller file size again. But if you have like a terabyte hard drive and you want to play the PlayStation versions of everything I said, hey, go for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, the game is game. Like, long as you playing it on your Steam Deck, I do not care. But anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you guys. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment. Let me know how I did. Let me know what games I should add, what games I should probably take away, all that good stuff. And stay tuned for the next top 10 video. See you guys later.